All right, everything looks to be in order. Pardon me, I'm just checking some things over here real quick. And when I mean checking some things, I'm just kind of killing some time playing Darksiders. Pay no mind! And I think I'm going in the wrong direction. I'll get back to this. Actually, this is the direction I'm supposed to be even going in. So I got it scheduled to 10:55, so that should be more than enough time. It's a funky thing trying to work with mobile in order for it to do your streaming. It's a good thing my new phone has some very strong battery life. 10:54. How many seconds do we have? Not many, because now we can get started. 10:55. Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome to My Hero Academia chapter reaction and review. We're finally off a break. This is the first My Hero chapter of the year, and I'm looking forward to see what happens after Mei Hatsume landed her personality directly onto Midoriya's face. Let's go! Chapter 1... not 133. 339, the story of how we all became heroes, part 2. And it has like a Mei Hatsumi here. It's Hatsume, isn't it? Yeah, it's Hatsume. Hatsume. I said it the first time. So starting off from here, she says, "How's it hanging? And what can I do for you two?" And then Midoriya standing there, standing there thinking, "My danger sense didn't activate. I was caught off guard." And then it shows Ida there standing there like caught unawares by the bosom. "Hatsume, we have come to you today to request costume repairs." "Hmm? Why not put in a request to the item agency like the usual?" And then Ida says, "The agencies are, well, there's been disruption to the typical exchange of goods and services these days. We now need to rely on the support course." "You don't say! Well, that makes sense." And Ida says, "Huh?" And then Ida says, "Huh?" And then she's just blank staring at him, and she says, "Hmm?" And then Midoriya says, "Don't tell me. Is she clueless about the state of the world?" Hatsume is completely oblivious to what's going on outside of her workshop. Does she not know what All For One has been doing, or like Stars and Stripes, or pretty much what all has been going on outside? Has she been in her workshop this whole time? I bit my tongue, that hurts. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I need to recuperate. Okay, I'm good now. Has Hatsume been so engrossed in her own work that she has no idea what's been going on in the world right now? Don't tell me. Is she clueless about the state of the world? And then her mentor is there, like the hero that's working with her. He comes out of the smoke that, you know, her whole workshop just exploded into, and she says, "Hatsume, I swear, what is it with you and explosions?" "Costume repairs? Come on in. Support course studio overseer, power loader." And then it shows Hatsume's workshop, and there's numerous destroyed spots and numerous explosions, including the scorched marks of where the door used to be. And then Ida says, "Things are a bit different here." And then Power Loader says, "I'm in charge of R&D for the UA barrier. maintenance too, once each part is up and running. And then it shows Hatsume looking at Midoriya's gauntlets, saying, "Mid gauntlets, the latest in compression tech." And then Midoriya says, "These were prototypes from overseas, so I can't restock. Think you could fix them for me?" And then Hatsume looks at it, saying, "Is this a rush job?" And then Midoriya says, "You bet it is." And he has like the most serious looking face on his face. And then Hatsume just looks back and says, "No can do. Sorry." And then Ida's all like, "What?" And Hatsume says, "With that level of damage, I need to remake them basically from scratch. And we lack the compendium for the compression mechanism. So no can do." Walking away at the speed of nope? I think I may have used that phrase before in the past when I was playing a scary game. That sounds like something I would say. Like Mimi. That sounds like something I would say. Walking away at the speed of nope. Hatsume, what about my armor? Without the spec docs, no can do. How frank. And then the other support team members that are there with Hatsume are saying, "Don't sweat it, we can make what you need. We're in Hatsume's class. Thank you, we're in your debt." How curious, though. Hatsume takes to tinkering like a fish to water, so I assume she would offer us aid. And then Midoriya walks up to Hatsume saying, "What are you working on?" And she's just typing away and just tinkering away at her workstation, saying, "The evac shelter blocks? They're blasting off! Cool! And then Power Loader says, "I enlisted Hatsume to help improve our defenses. She's busy concocting new mechanisms in case of mass evacuation. Like I alluded to before, her zeal and inventive mind put her in a league of her own. Even a perfect A+ idea could drop in a flash." Oh wait, that's Hatsume. Because he's thinking back to how Hatsume's always been. Midoriya's thinking back to how Hatsume has always been. And then she says, "Even a perfect A+ idea could drop to an A- in a flash. When I think up a new baby, I gotta raise it right. That's some wisdom from me." Hatsume's words of wisdom. And then Midoriya says, "I get it. No wonder you're paying no mind to the outside world. You're laser focused on your beloved inventions. You're pretty amazing, Hatsume." "Don't be dense, Midoriya, as dense as high-density polyethylene." How did I say that without stuttering? That's the first time I've seen that word. As dense as high-density polyethylene." Excuse me? I don't get it. "Of course I'm aware of the nasty predicament you heroes are facing out there." Oh, so she is aware. "We may not be fighters, but just like how you guys are trying every trick in the book to protect as many people as possible, we're tackling it in our own way. Inventing stuff is how the support course does heroics." And then it has the most wholesome face on Hatsume's face. Like, it's not frantic looking. She has like lovey-dovey eyes. She has like the endearing eyes on her. I'm not a model. I don't know how to smile with your eyes, so I don't know. "Inventing stuff is how the support course does heroics." And then Midoriya says, "Well, Hatsume," and before he says anything, his face gets embedded by a new pair of gloves. "I couldn't replicate them exactly." And apparently it's new gauntlets for Midoriya. My babies might not be the latest and greatest, but please put them to work for you." And Midoriya, whose face is still embedded after having those gauntlets thrown in his face. You know how Hades' face looked after Hercules punched him in it, and his face went into itself until it looks like it was scrunched up? Yeah, Midoriya's face looks just like that. "Gloves included? Neat. Gloves included? Neat. Did your left hand alone just whip these up? Thanks so much." He says, "Gloves included? Neat. Did your left hand alone just whip these up? Thanks so much." And then she throws some things in Ida's face. They both got scrunched up faces from what Hatsume threw into them.
And this is no perfect replica of your armor, Ida, but enjoy!
Hooray! Thank you kindly! As all these things get thrown into Ida, both Ida and Midoriya's faces are embedded by these new things that Hatsume just threw into their faces. And the two other students that are there with Hatsume saying, we were just about to take their measurements.
Please give your Hero Course pals a message. Let's win this.
And both Ida and Midoriya give her a reassuring fist pump while their faces are still pulled into themselves. If I could show you this image without the worry of copyright strikes, I would. And then here comes Seto, saying, that didn't take long, you two. Good thing we're all prepped already. Just in time then, thank goodness, says Ida. And then, now mind you, both Midoriya's faces and Ida's faces are still stuck the way they are. They're still inverted. And Seto says, faces aren't supposed to stick that way, yeah? And then there's Mount Lady. Mount Lady's there. She says,
I've heard about what Class A has been through, but sadly we can't afford to waste a single day at this point. Our best case scenario is still finding and mopping up the Liberation Front and the League of Villains as soon as possible. That would solve this whole mess, so we're not abandoning the original plan altogether. And standing around all dazed and confused as is just playing into our enemy's hands.
And then Mina just thinks,
Aoyama, think he'll take that hand we offered?
And then Midoriya says, I have faith that Aoyama will come back to us. Then Bakugo says, assuming he ain't whammied by some kind of curse. And then Shoto says, I think it'll be fine, because he has always had his sights set on the man he wants to be, more than any of us. And then someone cries out, okay, people, let's move. Midoriya's at the center of this operation. Class 1A of UA's Hero Course. Search Squad, assemble! Meanwhile, in the Kansai region... Oh, there's Nejide! And Amajiki! And apparently they took down the villain with Fat Gum.
Anyone hurt, Sun Eater?
Nejire, because you know he's socially awkward. And then the people are saying, thank y'all so much. Hard to believe those dang villains started tossing their weight around here, boonies. Well, you folks can rest easy now. And here's Fat Gum saying, well, you folks can rest easy now. We'll get you on over to Shiketsu High. It's a real sturdy fortress, solid as UA even. Thank you, young man. Can you at least show us your face? No thanks. And then there's Ryukyu there with Fat Gum and the rest of them saying, but fewer people means much less intel. We're in a tight spot. And then Fat Gum says, you know what this means? Gone are the days of slinging sneak attacks and raids at each other's now. Gone are the days of slinging sneak attacks and raids at each other. Now it's the opposite. Both sides are pulling out all the stops, gearing up for a true blue all-out war on every front. And then it cuts to a building where it's just All Might and Hawks, with All Might saying, so, about our plan B. Let's review the key info about the other battle that could decide it all. Interesting. And then the chapter ends there. I would not be surprised if we are going on break for My Hero Academia, just like One Piece is going on break directly after this chapter as well. But a lot of things that have resolved. A lot of things, well, I wouldn't say resolved, but a lot of things. This is another setup chapter. I know my One Piece stream ended with it seeming like it coming off as a setup chapter, but My Hero seems to be setting up itself as a setup chapter as well. Because we see Hatsume and how resolute she is with helping out the heroes, and her saying that the support class and the support course, them doing stuff and creating support items for the heroes, that is their brand of heroics. And in the process, my thing is, Hatsume has got to be one of the most accomplished inventors in all of My Hero Academia, like the entire series, because Midoriya brings her gauntlets that he got from overseas in the hopes that she could fix them. She says, no, but before they can even leave, she's made brand new ones. Now, she says they might not be as sturdy and as powerful as the one you got overseas, but please put them to good use. The entire time they were there, which couldn't have been longer than like an hour, it couldn't have been longer than an hour, or even less than that, she not only replicated and made her own versions of Midoriya's gauntlets that he got from overseas by herself with one hand, but also managed to make replicas of Ida's armor, even though she didn't have the documents in order to know how to fully build them. She made replicas for the both of them in the span that they were there at the course. And she did that before the other students could take the measurements of Midoriya and Ida just to have their stuff built. If that's not crazy fast, I don't know what is. And as this is going on, Mount Lady says our best case scenario is still finding and mopping up the Liberation Front and the League of Villains as soon as possible. That would solve this whole, so we're not abandoning the original plan altogether. And standing around all days and confused is just playing into our enemy's hands. So they're still thinking about Aoyama as they put this plan into motion. And as this is going on, Midoriya, Class 1A of UA's Hero Corps, Search Squad assemble. So they're the Search Squad. Class 1A is the Search Squad to find them. And then in the Kansai region, it has the Big Three of UA. Well, not Big Three because Mirio isn't there either. Where is Mirio? I mean, he has his phase quirk. He has his phase quirk back, but he's not back. Is he? Oh, he could be spending. He could be. Could actually be around Eri because it just says it just has Nejire there, and they've taken down a villain along with Fat Gum and Sun Eater, but Mirio's nowhere to be seen. So where's Mirio? You would think that he'd be back on active duty again since his permeation is back. That's the quirk name. But I think I'm trying to remember what he said concerning his quirk and whether he's going to come back full time to be to continue being a member of the Big Three. I have to read on that. But it just shows that they went all the way out to the boonies with Fat Gum in order to rescue them. And some very grateful civilians who were caught out there are very happy that they were saved by both Fat Gum, Nejire, and Sun Eater, with Sun Eater being the more apprehensive of all the things because, you know, he's massively socially awkward. He's the opposite of Mirio. Mirio's the first person that'll run up and says, "Hi, how are you? Want to hear a joke?" Sun Eater's the one who would shirk back into the corner and hope that no one sees him. And if someone sees him, he'll just turn around in the corner and hope that if he doesn't see you, then that means you're not really there. So, you know, that's how he's behaving right now. And Ryukyu is talking to Fat Gum, and they're both coming to the realization that the days of doing sneak attacks and doing hidden raids and surprise raids of the villains versus heroes and heroes versus villains, that day is over. Now all that's left is for the two opposing forces to meet each other in the final big battle between good and evil. Heroes versus villains. Right versus wrong. And I use my left hand for that analogy. But, gone are the days of slinging sneak attacks and raids at each other. Now it's the opposite. Both sides are pulling out all the stops, gearing up for a true blue all-out war on every front. So sneak attacks are no longer going to work. It's all just going to be like a battle of Helm's Deep at this point, or final battle at Minas Tirith or something like that. That's what this is gearing up towards. Everyone is just waiting to see who's just going to strike first. It's no more about sneak attacks. It's no more about hidden tactics. It's just going to be an all-out war now. And Midoriya is part of the search squad to see if they can get the drop on them first, possibly. Possibly. But we'll see what the entirety of the plan is, because Hawks and All Might are at some separate location in a separate region saying, so about our plan B, let's review the key info about the other battle that could decide it all. Now, the words the other battle are in bold, which means that there's something else that's going on here with the heroes that All Might and Hawks are taking part in. We don't know yet, but we're just going to have to wait until the next chapter. All I know is that this day is a day for setup chapters for both. I don't know why I keep looking into my screen when you guys are right there. This is a setup chapter for both My Hero Academia and One Piece, and this is a good way to get us started into the new year for both of those series, because now it just makes me want to see what happens more. But if they're going on break at the same time as One Piece, then we probably won't see a chapter until the 16th. Someone will let me know whether or not we do, in fact, go on break. If we don't, then I'll see you guys at the usual time. But if we do, then it'll probably be on the 16th on a Sunday. I know these two chapters today came out on a Monday, but that's just an anomaly. Don't expect it to happen all that often. Overall, I enjoyed this chapter, and I'm glad to see My Hero is starting to set things up for what could be the final battle happening soon, because there's only so many things you can do before it's the final battle between All for One and the user of One for All. But we're just going to have to see what happens in between that time. That's all I got to say about this chapter. I know it's shorter than my One Piece reaction, but I tend to get everything out that I feel I need to say about My Hero Academia out within the stream itself, and I think I've said everything very important. I'm sure if I missed anything extremely crucial, someone will let me know, and then we'll talk about it then. But until that time, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Matter of fact, when's the next episode of One Piece supposed to be coming out?